Evil Dead Rise. We were fortunate enough to check this one out early, and it's an Evil Dead movie in the sense that it's got all the bells and whistles that you would want from an Evil Dead movie, minus some of the more enthusiastic, charismatic characters from Evil Deads of the past.
I think with this one, they kind of wanted to focus more on the horror element that is Evil Dead versus like that campiness that we know and love from the Evil Dead movies.
Sure.
So if you were wanting it to be more geared towards that campiness that we love about the Evil Dead movies, it doesn't really show up in this movie. I took this movie as more of like an alternate reality Evil Dead.
It does feel like Evil Dead taking place in a completely different scenario with completely different people, and it's really going through the same beats of an Evil Dead movie.
Yeah, I did like the location, the setting that they had for this story being in an apartment complex, an apartment story building, versus it being at a cabin, because, they've done the cabin already. And my favorite of the Evil Dead franchise is Army of Darkness, and we're not even at we're in like a completely different universe world. Time. So that's what I like about it, is that it is set somewhere different. So that way, and that plays a role in the story too, which is good.
I did like the setting very, very much. So being in the high-rise apartment building, I thought that was awesome. I thought they utilized the location very well. There are certain horrors that do take place, and the style that they utilize certain aspects of the apartment is well done, especially in a horror movie and an Evil Dead movie. Now, granted, the movie itself is flooded with tons of gore and blood and brutality, and for that, I thank them, because you want that in an Evil Dead movie. The special effects were brutal, and I really liked the quality of them. They were incredibly graphic and violent, to the point where you're just cringing with the level of detail that they had in this movie, and that's what I love about Evil Dead, always kicking up the gore.
Right. That's what I liked about it too, and then some homages to, past horror is in there as well.
Past horror, not just Evil Dead.
Right.
What it is lacking, though, like you said, the camp, a little more of the humor. It is more in the vein of the 2013 Evil Dead, where they take it a little bit more serious, which, that's fine, I understand, but we're fans of Ash vs. Evil Dead and, of course, Army of Darkness, so you can have fun with it and still make it incredibly brutal. But granted, the earliest Evil Dead was fairly brutal and not leaning more into the camp like Evil Dead 2 did.
Yeah, and also, too, like, with the characters themselves, and it came to certain things that happened, I was just kind of like, okay, like, they were there and then they weren't there. And unlike with the other stories where you kind of are familiar sort of with them, and then you're invested in what they're gonna, like, these characters are doing, whereas in this one I wasn't really invested in a whole lot of the characters at all.
I do think that the mom that's in this movie, I think that she did a hell of a job playing a Deadite, and you've seen it in the trailer, and she really does go for it in the movie. The final antagonist of this movie I wasn't a fan of, but everything, the transition and the talking crap that the Deadites tend to do, that's my favorite part of Evil Dead. I love when they're just beating you down with words before they're trying to massacre you, essentially. But this movie, I enjoyed myself. It wasn't anything great. It just felt like Evil Dead in another universe. There is aspects of the movie, the beginning and the end, that I felt like were shoehorned into the movie. And if you watch the trailer, there's parts about it that don't need to be there. But I feel like they did it, one, to correlate it to an Evil Dead movie, and two, to give you a shocking opening and a shocking ending when they didn't have one with the story that is there.
Yeah, so I feel like if they just stuck with the core story, that it would have been fine. I didn't need that bookend stuff.
And there is nothing in the mid-credits, and there is nothing in the post-credits, so you don't have to stay through the credits unless you want to listen to scary music, which when I was an usher at the theater, that was the worst part about cleaning up after these kinds of movies, because they were freaky. But either way, Evil Dead Rise, are you guys going to check it out? out. Let us know what your favorite Evil Dead movie is. You can even say the show if you want to put that up there. We love Ash versus Evil Dead.
We got Ashy Slashy back here.
We definitely do. If they wanted to, now not saying that there's a connection anyway, but if they wanted to take characters from all the Evil Deads and do something with them, 2013, Ash's Evil Dead, this one, I would be okay with that. I would love to see an endgame level threat when it comes to all of the human survivors, the final people of these movies, going and battling the Deadites in one big final battle, and then bring the characters from Ash versus Evil Dead too. That would be awesome, but probably never going to happen. But guys, let us know what you thought if you saw it, and if you're going to see it, tell us down there. You can also like and subscribe.
And do the thing on our Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Discord.
All the social networking gin joints, you know where they are. Kick into the party fuel, the party keep the party going on our Patreon. Check out the reaction to the season finale of The Mandalorian. Hell of an episode available now. But thank you so much, and as always,
now it's time to say goodbye.
This party is over.
Bye.
Bye.